To donate 545 pounds of coats and blankets to the LA Mission this winter season.
Hallelujah, hallelujah.
The LA Mission expressed its deep gratitude for our gift all over social media, but we wish to thank them and all the other service providers who look out daily for the less fortunate in our community, finding our happy by being helpful.
Hallelujah.
We're KBLA Talk 1580, where we do more than just talk.
Somebody's been praying for me.
It ain't for everybody. Welcome to Hollywood, baby.
Picture.
Coming with.
Let's not even talk about it.
Let's do it.
Let's go.
I see your jealousy as you're watching.
I see you watching me, baby.
You're watching.
It's all good.
It's kinda sexy.
I love it.
How you're watching. You're watching.
Come
on. I see your face.
I see your face.
You wanna touch it. Come to my place.
Come to the crib.
And let's discuss
Let's
it.
chop it up.
Tonight you're
gonna be a superstar, baby.
And let me sign you up.
Let's get into it.
Who is the light?
You're blinded by the
action.
You need that.
Hollywood. Who is the light?
You're blinded by the.
When I tell y'all, Andy never misses. Happy Thursday. Happy New Year. This song is going to make a whole lot of sense in a minute. Welcome to 2025 KBLA delegation. I am Mischa Duffie, your host for this evening, and I am grateful to be here with you today. And the spirit of checking in, I trust you all are having an amazing day. I trust you laughed today. I trust that you hugged someone today. I trust that you gifted someone with a smile. I trust that you took a moment to reflect upon how blessed you are and all that you have to be grateful for. If you are chilling at home while still enjoying your holiday leave, welcome in. If you are in your car making your way to your destination, welcome in. And if you just happen to be still in that office trying to wrap up your workday, whatever and wherever this moment finds you, know that the next hour is about you and me and a wonderful award season roundtable with two amazing guests. And if by chance this is your first time tuning into KBLA Talk 1580, we thank you for finding us. Proudly, we are the only unapologetically progressive, Black-owned and Black-operated talk radio show on this side of the Mississippi. If you feel so inclined, you are welcome always to join the conversation by calling in at 1-800-920-1580. All of that said, friends, I am especially elated this evening because I am doing something that I have not done in my 3.5 years of being a radio host here on KBLA. I love new adventures. I love charting new territory. And so I figure the top of a new year is as good a time as any to do something new. And guess what? You get to go for the ride with us. As I mentioned a moment ago, I am hosting my first ever award season roundtable. Why, you ask? One, because 2 or 3 months ago, I met some really cool journalists that I knew I wanted to work with. Not to mention, they are doing a fantastic job covering Hollywood. 2, starting January the 5th with the 8th and 85th annual Golden Globe Awards all the way up until June 8th with the Tony Awards, there is going to be a serious awards showdown, award season showdown. Things are about to get real.
Crazy.
In between the Golden Globes, the Tony Awards is everything from the Critics' Choice Awards, the Grammys, the BAFTA Awards, NAACP Image Awards, Writers Guild
All
Awards,
of the things. Come on.
Producer Guild Awards,
Come on.
Screen Actor Guild Awards,
Okay.
not to mention the Oscars and the Met Gala. As award season loads up, I am honored, as I said a moment ago, to host this awards season roundtable with 2 journalists whose passion I love and whose boldness I have come to admire. Whether working a red carpet or podcasting from an exclusive location, Tanisha, Laverne Grant, and Jamir Smith aren't
Tanisha is in
chasing
the building.
celebrities. They are chasing the opportunity to share truth and love with their audience in the classiest way possible. That's what y'all do.
Come on, that's
y'all
what we do.
journalism with
That's what we
class.
We try.
And I appreciate that. So join us. Here we go as we unpack award season. One of the things I want you to listen in for is that we want to take a different approach. We don't want to just talk about the clothing and who the designers are, but we want to talk about some of the behind the scenes things that you all may not be privy to through the lens of Black journalists, right? And there's a lot there because we don't see enough of us represented on the screen, but we also don't see enough of us represented on the red carpet. And we want to talk about why that is. We want to educate you on the ways that these two journalists in particular are working to change that, and again, are doing an amazing job. So can I welcome the two of you to the hour,
Absolutely.
to our KBLA first award
Thank you.
season roundtable.
I'm happy to be back.
Yes.
Yeah.
You've
Shout out
just
to
been
KBLA.
hanging.
I've been out here hanging.
You've been hanging here.
Shout out to
KBLA.
you and KBLA, The Talk 1580.
Yeah,
Oh my
yeah.
God, Tanisha is in the building.
I'm so excited to be here.
Yeah.
So excited. Thank you so much for having me and inviting me to KBLA 1580,
Yeah.
Black owned,
Yeah.
Tavis Smiley.
Yeah.
Like,
Absolutely.
what a
Crazy.
joy.
What a joy.
Right. So let's just jump in. We're going to talk about everything from how are the coordinators of the awards doing with DEI. We're going to talk about are there enough Blacks on the front line. We're going to talk about why it's easier to get into the White House than it is for Black journalists to get into the Met Gala.
Uh-oh.
And we're going to talk about the book, Slaves to Fashion,
Woo!
Black Dandyism and the Styling of the Black Diaspora by Monica L. Miller.
Shout out to Monica.
And all the other things that you all want to talk about.
Yeah.
So award season is upon us.
Yes, ma'am.
And 3 days from now, it kicks off.
Yes.
What? Give me one word, Tanisha.
Mm-hmm.
Give me your word as you think about the award season coming up.
Challenging.
Jamir, what's your word?
Colorful.
Colorful challenge. Why challenging, Tanisha?
Well, it's challenging because, again, when it comes to Black media, right, getting those placements on the red carpet, there's a credentialing process. And a lot of times those spaces on these red carpets go to more seasoned outlets. They go to more of the mainstream outlets, you know. So every year at the Golden Globes, there are several main stages. And those main stages are occupied by, of course, Access Hollywood, Entertainment Tonight, the large, big media conglomerate. Everybody else is considered a part of the general press. And there are spaces allotted for general press. So under general press would be maybe like your LA Times, the Sentinel, you know, smaller outlets. And then when it comes to factoring in those Black media outlets, we're at the very bottom of the list for that level of access. And so again, it becomes very challenging. This year will be my 5th time covering the Golden Globes. And oddly enough, this year I've been only relegated to the media room. I will have access to the red carpet from what it looks like. I will have access to the red carpet leading up till the time that the red carpet show starts. After that, my assignment will be for the press room.
Yeah.
Now, last year, I had access to both the red carpet and the media room, and that was only after my outlet was full out decline. I cover for a syndicated digital platform called Black in America, HBCU Connect, and Black Women Connect. For the last decade, I've hosted a blog on all of those sites. So when I credentialed in for 2024, I was declined, and I challenged it. I fought. And because I fought, the team from the Hollywood Foreign Press reevaluated my application, reevaluated the contributions that I've been making in the entertainment industry for over, the past 10 years.
Yeah.
And at the last second, they credentialed me to cover the carpet and the media room.
So let me ask you this. For our listeners that don't get this part, when you talk about being credentialed and getting approved for that process, what is required and why is it so difficult? Because 10 years is a lot of investment. 10 years, you're not an amateur. You've been doing this. They know you. They know your faces. I watched your page. I see how the celebrities respond to you.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Right? So what is the process and why is getting qualified so challenging?
It's challenging because they're looking at numbers.
How
They're
much can
looking
you
at
generate
numbers.
as far
And
as
so
analytics?
when I'm covering on behalf of a smaller syndicated outlet, they're basically saying, okay, well, she doesn't have the reach. Okay.
Hold that thought. When we come forward, we are going to continue our first ever KBLA Awards Season Roundtable with Tanisha,
Laverne
Grant, and Jamir Smith. I'm going to get this name right. This is KBLA Talk 1580.
Disagree without disrespect. Make your point and keep it pushing.
Let's do this.
Listen and learn or talk and teach. Talking and listening around the clock. KBLA Talk 1580.
Somebody bring out the confetti, baby!
Starting Monday, January 6th, KBLA Talk 1580 has a new midday lineup.
I'm excited.
Are you ready for Tavis Smiley, Dr. Cornell West, Jesse Jackson Jr., D.L. Hughley, and E. Quarterly Corte back-to-back?
Oh my God.
Are you really ready for all this smoke?
I'm ready, brother.
Yes, we still have Dominique DePrima in the mornings and Zoe Williams in the evenings, but middays just got lit on KBLA Talk 1580.
We on fire.
All across America, people are talking about our new midday lineup. Starting Monday, January 6th, our KBLA 1580 app downloads are on fire because everybody's going to be tuning in.
Yes, I love you guys. You are the bomb.
Now would be a good time to hit up SMB at KBLA1580.com if you want folks to hear about your business or brand. That's SMB at KBLA1580.com. It's going up in 2025 on KBLA Talk 1580.
It's going up.
That's what I want.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now.
800-550-9651.
Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com
Or call 800-550-9651. That's 800-550-9651.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Want to play a game with me and Dad?
Mommy's not feeling good.
You need to vaporize that cold.
Vaporize?
Yeah, with Dayquil VapoCool. It's Dayquil plus a rush of Vicks vapors.
Whoa.
Come on, honey. Let's let mommy rest.
You guys are amazing. And so is Dayquil VapoCool.
Dayquil VapoCool, the vaporizing daytime coughing, aching, fever, power through your day medicine. And to vaporize sore throat pain, try Vicks VapoCool drops. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues?
Who are you?
Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by Abbott.
At KBLA Talk 1580, we do more than just talk.
You got a big mouth.
Hello, Joe, you're up. Welcome.
We're unapologetically progressive and we don't black down.
No, we do not. This is Mischa Duffie. Welcome in. I'm so grateful that you're here. I have the honor and the privilege of having my first ever awards season roundtable with Tanisha Laverne Grant. Yes. And Jamir Smith. Awards season is 3 days away. And because I didn't get an opportunity to do this initially, I just want to take a few minutes to let you know who these amazing folk are. Jamir, as some of you already know, is the host and founder of the Jamir Smith podcast. He is a passionate content creator, a debonair fashion enthusiast, and he's been the costume supervisor at Tyler Perry Studios. He's been a wardrobe assistant at BET Networks, a wardrobe trailer assistant at Rainbow Forest. So when I tell you these folk are in this Hollywood thing,
Tanisha was looking at me like, what's going on?
And Miss Tanisha has, as she said, this is her 10th year doing award season red carpet. She's also interviewed the likes of Oprah Winfrey and Cher and Jamie Lee Curtis and Viola Davis. And if that isn't enough, Henry Winkler and Angela Bassett and Tom Selleck and Halle Berry, all the people. So I say that to say this. I'm having this conversation with people who know what this conversation is about. Yeah. You all are doing the thing. You all are on the front line. Before we came forward, we were talking about there. Andy, did you want to jump in?
Oh, yeah. I just wanted to show love to Mimi, you know what I'm saying, who's in the chat. I know you probably can't see the chat or whatnot. Shout out Jacksonville, Florida. Based on the topic of, challenges on the red carpet or whatnot, she basically said that she loves Entertainment Tonight, Kevin Frazier and Michelle, right? Mm-hmm. But she believes that A-list black celebrities should skip the mainstream and only do black press during award season.
Ooh.
So say that again.
Mimi said that she believes that the mainstream press, black media should skip mainstream press and only do black talent. What do you all think about that? Mimi, thank you for that, and thanks for listening.
In recent years, I will say this. Certain publicists from certain PR firms have been making the effort to sprinkle smaller outlets in with the bigger outlets, the bigger mainstream outlets. Mm-hmm. For example, a few years ago, I did the red carpet for, oh my goodness, I'm having a memory flub, an amazing film with Sterling Brown and Regina Hall. It was a movie, a film about church. Yeah. It was
all are forgetting the name of it. I know
it was like a comedic. It was like a comedic.
Right. Yeah. Amazing film. And on that activation, I had the #1 on-camera spot.
Go ahead, Andy.
Wow.
Yes,
Honk for Jesus.
I love me a super duper producer.
Yes, Andy's amazing.
Andy's on.
Thank you. Yes, honk for Jesus.
Yes.
I had the #1 position. That meant I was ahead of Entertainment Tonight. I was ahead of Access Hollywood. I was ahead of E. I was ahead of any large mainstream activation. For the first time in my career, I had the #1 position. And that's because the PR firm on that particular activation said, someone advocated me. Someone advocated for me and said, you know what? She deserves a front position.
Amen.
She's been out here. This is a black title. So why not have a black journalist with the black activation? With the black publication, on the #1 slot.
Yeah.
So they've been trying to do that in recent years. But again, it's just really challenging because everybody just focuses on the numbers. So whenever I have to rebuttal a decline, right, because those decline letters come and I never take no for an answer. So when I circle back, I say, okay, if you feel like I don't meet the numbers, let's take a look at my wider contributions in this space.
Yeah.
Let's look at the fact that I am a regular contributor for New York's Pix 11 News. Let's look at the fact that I am a regular contributor for Arise News out of Lagos, Nigeria, and the UK. Let's look at my Instagram followers. Let's look at my LinkedIn. Let's look at my Facebook.
Yeah.
And I think this is the thing. I think there's so many publications that are now more interested in some of the smaller publications because of our reach. To your point, I think that, we're able to curate content in a way that is very personal and personalized, right? So we don't have to kind of follow behind a blueprint. Yeah. We've kind of looked to see what has worked well And I think to your point, when I mentioned colorful, I think colorful for me just means that, you know, we're creatives love to create.
Yeah.
So creatives are really in this space now of how do we find out how to create our own footprint in this brand new industry of 2025. And I think a lot of us have kind of moved out of the larger publication rim of things and just started to do our own thing because it just makes sense. And, you know, you've had such an amazing career and so many other, you know, Black publicists and journalists and media people to just go on their Instagram or go on their socials and YouTubes and TikToks and just say, wow, let me interview these people because I like their work and create your own. And I think you and I have had that conversation about looking to your left and your right, about what the Issa Raes have said of the world and just make your own space and voices count.
And create a lane for yourself.
You have
and
to.
Those people who are brave enough and bold enough to do that, I believe it pays off. I've watched you on your page, and you were interviewing somebody, and Wesley Snipes, I believe
Did
it was.
she yell out to Wesley? Did she yell out to Wesley?
And you make room for yourself. So do you, right?
Have
and
to.
so when we talk about...
Listen, you get that one chance.
Yeah.
You get that one chance, and you do that a lot.
Yeah, and when you get the one chance, or if it's not given to you, when you get the one chance, what is it that we want them to know about us as Black journalists and how we do it differently?
You go. Well, I was going to say.
Because I do believe
matters.
that, I do believe there's a different kind of energy and vibration and seasoning that we bring to storytelling. So in you all's point of view, what is it that you want them to get from you as a journalist when you're on those red carpets that they aren't going to get anywhere else?
I'm your friend.
I was going to say relatability. Oof.
99% of the talent that I've interviewed, I have followed their careers from the infancy. Cynthia Erivo, I followed her career from the time she stepped on a carpet for the very first time. I was in the audience when she blew us out of the water in The Color Purple. You know, I know that Lawrence Fishburne's early films was Cornbread Earl and Me and Apocalypse Now. You know, so I'm on the journey with them. So when I see an actor, writer, producer, they get that Golden Globe nomination, I say, we're here. We made it.
We made it.
We made it.
Because I've been taking the journey with you.
Exactly. When I'm in the media room at the Academy Awards, and for example, last year, Divine Joy Randolph won.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
she won
Love
everything.
her.
She
Love
just
her.
wiped the slate clean. She won everything.
She's from my neck of the woods. She's from the Philadelphia area. I'm from Chester, PA. When she won, she came into the backstage meeting room. My paddle went up. I was the last journalist they called on to interview her. And the first thing I said was, I'm so happy to be on this journey with you. She recognized my voice. The room is really bright. She squinted. She saw me. She realized exactly who I was, and we engaged in a beautiful, very quick dialogue.
Yeah.
And that's what it's about.
Yeah,
that's what it's about, honestly, right? Like the representation and then the relatability of it, right? Like making sure that our voices and our footprints count. Because again, to your point, we've put in the work. And I think the artists have to also understand that we're looking at them as regular people. As all of the amazing things that they have done. But I think also journalists want to feel the same. We want to feel that we've done the work because we followed your career, because we've looked at you as a regular person.
So let me ask this. Do actors, actresses, directors, producers, PR people, do they have an obligation to us as Black journalists to request our presence on the carpet as the first, the second, and not the last?
Absolutely.
Do they have a responsibility?
Absolutely. Allied Global Marketing does a phenomenal job.
They do.
They do a phenomenal job.
amazing.
I've been working with Destiny Good for the past couple of years. She's been on the team, and she has been one of my biggest advocates. She's on maternity leave. I'm like, Destiny,
Girl, come back.
I need you right now.
It's award season kicking off, girl.
But take all the time you need.
Yes,
But she's
yes.
been amazing. Marcus Best, they've been amazing at Allied in making sure that Black journalists from Black outlets.
Yeah.
That's the sticker.
It is.
It's the Black journalist from the Black outlet.
Okay. Okay.
But you always want to make sure that representation from all media makes sense, because, of course, you're able to get different stories. Like my story and conversation may be different than her story, than, anyone that is Caucasian or Latin or whatever, right? So I think collectively you want everybody's point of view, but you want it in an even sense, because everyone will be able to at least kind of tell the story in a progressive way.
And so when you all think, go ahead, you were going to say.
One of the other points that I would like to drive in or drive home is just because the outlet says black doesn't mean that I'm only watching black films.
Absolutely.
That would not make me a cinephile, right? A couple of years ago, a couple of years ago, Jamie Lee Curtis came into the media room for the Academy Awards, and my paddle went up. And people were looking like, oh, my God, she watched Everything Everywhere All at Once. Yes, I did.
It was a great film, by the way.
Yes, I did. So, of course, my paddle goes up. And so it's important for journalists, for those PR, publicists, big PR firms to understand that just because we cover for an outlet that says black doesn't mean we're only watching black film. Like, that's lunacy.
Yeah. And it also is playing us cheap, because we can be and are a whole lot of things, right? We can be. We're very well rounded.
All of the
Listen,
things.
when we come forward, we are going to continue our awards season around table with Tanisha Laverne Grant and Jamir Smith. I am Mischa Duffie, and I am honored to be here. I hope you are enjoying this conversation as much as we are. Happy New Year, and thanks for being here.
When the music starts spinning in you're blinded by the action. You need that. Come on. You're blinded by the you need that.
Say the quiet part out loud. KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Amber Payton with 4 Things You Should Know from BIN News. President Biden says there's no evidence linking the New Orleans and Las Vegas attacks. After meeting with Homeland Security, he vowed to share updates and continue pursuing ISIS, noting the New Orleans suspect pledged allegiance to the group. Wall Street is closing lower with stocks down in a choppy first trading season of 2025. The market was up early in the trading day before things reversed course in late morning trading. Black New York City Mayor Eric Adams is reflecting on a tough 2024 marked by his indictment, raids on aides' homes, and resignations, including NYPD Chief Jeffrey Madry over misconduct allegations. And Mississippi Valley State University's Mean Green Marching Band is raising $350,000 for their trip to perform at President-elect Trump's inauguration. The band previously made history as the first HBCU to play at the Tournament of Roses parade and Nixon's inauguration. Get BIN News on demand 24/7 at BINnews.com.
Let's start in Chino with a wreck on the 60 eastbound past Reservoir. Carpool lane is blocked. Big delays are backing up away from the 57 freeway. Also in Santa Monica, some slow traffic for the 10 eastbound leaving Cloverfield. You're on and off the brakes all the way into downtown Los Angeles and out to Riverside. A crash on the 215 northbound before Martin Luther King Boulevard. Left lane is where it landed. Delays backing up away from Eucalyptus. Very tough in the Cajon Pass. This is the drive on the 138 eastbound before the 15. Blocking lanes, delays away from Lone Pine Canyon Road and the 15 itself in the Cajon Pass. Southbound slowing away from Oak Hill as you continue back towards Cleghorn. Northbound from the 215 merge to the 138.
Joe Buck and John Smoltz welcoming you back to the City Center Convenience Mart. Uh-oh. She's looking at the cigarettes, but she just grabs the gum off the counter. Stand Up to Cancer and Rally want you to reduce your risk for cancer. Go to takeahealthystand.org. Is this the time?
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
Rams coach Sean McVay said quarterback Matthew Stafford will not play in the final regular season game Sunday against Seattle. McVay wants Stafford healthy for the playoffs. Backup quarterback Jimmy Garoppolo will start in place of Stafford. The 10-6 Rams have already clinched the NFC West title. They will be the number 3 or number 4 seed in the NFC playoffs. 3 Chargers were selected to the Pro Bowl. Linebacker Khalil Mack, strong safety Derwin James, and offensive tackle Rashawn Slater. The Rams have 1 Pro Bowl selection, rookie linebacker Jared Verse. The Lakers and Clippers are back in action tonight. The Lakers are at home against Portland. The Clippers are at Oklahoma City. LeBron's youngest son, Bryce James, has committed to the University of Arizona. Bryce, a senior at Sierra Canyon High School, chose Arizona over Ohio State and Duquesne. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson. More news, opinions, and conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
Yeah, y'all, come on. Here come the drums.
At KBLA Talk 1580, we fight the power every day.
Yeah, gotta give us what we want. Gotta give us what we need. Hey.
I listen to KBLA and I love the commercials. I know what the commercials mean. I also, if I'm looking and trying to figure something out, I need something to talk to me that might hit me. And it happens on TV because, you know, every time they show a sporting event, they got the pharmaceutical companies back to back to back telling people how to fix the sickness on the same stuff that they sell them. So we get it.
Yep, we get it too, Chuck D. And that's why at KBLA Talk 1580, we don't black down.
Drop it. Our freedom of speech is freedom of death. We got to fight the powers that be. Fight the power. Fight the power.
Febreze. As a rideshare driver, I love keeping my car smelling fresh and clean. So when I'm driving, I only trust Febreze car vent clips, featuring 3 distinct intensity settings, because it's that little touch that sets me apart. I can turn the intensity down for subtle freshness, or I can turn it up for when I want lots of scent. So whether it's set to low, medium, or high, with Febreze car, I know my car's going to smell amazing. Which keeps my driver rating right where it belongs. Picking up, Oscar!
Sometimes I struggle to get to sleep. My body stopped for the day, but my mind is still running. So I take ZQuil.
ZQuil, the world's #1 sleep aid brand, has a range of non-habit-forming products to fit you and your family's needs. Invest in a great night's sleep for the best you tomorrow.
I'm awake and ready to take on anything.
Better days start with ZQuil nights. Explore our products at ZQuil.com.
Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children. Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym for a while.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone.
Lower T?
Yeah, I went through it a while back. Once you hit 40, your body has less free testosterone. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The key ingredient is something called Tesnor, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again, at work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text PREP to 42424 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T, the #1 selling testosterone booster at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast, absolutely free. Text PREP to 42424. That's PREP to 42424.
Live from Leimert Park, USA.
The cultural mecca of Black Los Angeles.
Broadcasting from historic Crenshaw Boulevard. We are unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580.
Your ear, so I be sublime.
Get it, y'all. Get it, y'all. Get it, y'all. KBLA delegation, it is January the 2nd. And my guests are in here throwing down. My board op is in the other room throwing down.
It's not playing.
We still celebrating the fact that it is 2025, the second day of 2025. What a blessing. What a blessing.
Yep.
Tanisha, Laverne, Grant, and Jamir Smith are here with me today, and we're having an awards season roundtable. Why? Because awards season is around the corner, 3 days away, and as you all know, it's everything from the Golden Globes to the Oscars to the NAACP Image Awards and the Met Gala Awards. Oof. As I said, it is easier for black folk to get into the White House than it is to get into the Met Gala as journalists.
Yeah, absolutely.
Talk about that, Jamir.
You know what? It's interesting. I think, and I feel like you and I talked about this a couple of weeks ago. You know, the Met Gala is one of those moments in life of fashion history. Like, I think Anna Wintour has done a phenomenal job. And I think, number one, I would be remiss if I did not shout out Andre Leon Talley for all of the phenomenal contributing work that he has always done with Vogue. But you know what? I do want to say this year is going to be phenomenal. And I think it's going to be phenomenal because it's going to be one of the first, right? When you think about the Met Gala, you know, because
the first of.
I'm
so glad we're sharing this news tonight.
There's a title every year, and a lot of people that, of course, attend the Met Gala, and like me, you know, a lot of us are sitting in the back wondering, okay, what's the theme going to be this year? And, you know, the Met Gala is always the first Monday in May. And, you know, they did an amazing documentary on it. If you haven't seen it, check it out because it really does go through the whole conceptualized moments of the Met Gala. But this year is titled Super Fine, Tailoring Black Style. And it is marked after Monica L. Miller's Slaves to Fashion. I know we're going to talk about that. But when I say the first ever, the theme this year is about the history of the Black dandy and how peacocking and empowering really is the focus of just Black men throughout the lens of sophistication and fashion. And when we talk about the first, it is also the first time that there are five black male co-chairs.
Male co-chairs. Get your head around that.
Coleman Domingo, which killed it this last season. Huge shout out to Wayman and Micah and all of the stylists that have worked with him.
Philadelphia.
Shout out to Philly. Lewis Hamilton. Everyone knows NASCAR and all of the work that he has done. The creative and always fashion ASAP Rocky. Shout out to Riri. I just saw her on New Year's here in LA. Anna Wintour, of course, will be in the building, but LeBron James.
LeBron James, y'all. LeBron James, y'all, coming off the court
but last
co-chairing
of
the
course,
Met Gala.
We can't forget LVMH Pharrell Williams is going to be also a co-chair. So that is huge numbers,
look at
huge
that,
footprints
y'all. Look at that.
this year.
That's amazing. But again, how many Black media outlets will be there?
That part.
Right.
Woo.
Mainstream loves to tout Black culture.
Yeah.
They love to tout our creativity. They love to market our creativity. But when you get in the room, when you get to the red carpet,
there be representation in the building?
Where are the Black journalists covering for Black media outlets?
Yeah.
So would it be beneficial to message any of or all of the folk that Jamir just mentioned to pitch yourself?
I think so. Listen, you never.
Why can't you do that? Or would you
you can pitch yourself.
Yeah, you can pitch.
Listen, I've been declined
already for Met Gala.
I've been declined for like 7 years.
Okay, but I'm saying if you pitch to these five individuals in particular, do you think that's
not going to help?
That's not going to help.
That's not going to help.
Okay.
Me pitching Coleman Domingo, that's not going to help. No, he has nothing to do with that.
Okay.
I don't think he could even advocate.
Really?
Absolutely not. There is a very tight tier system,
especially for
within
Met
these
Gala.
institutions, especially Met Gala. From what I understand, Miss Anna Wintour hand selects every media outlet that's going to be that has that she will give the opportunity to cover. I've never, outside of Essence, I don't think I've ever seen a Black media outlet covering the Met Gala.
Wow.
Now, you'll have beautiful Black journalists who are covering for, let's just say, you know, again, mainstream. But not all of us are going to have the opportunity to cover for these big platforms.
Yeah.
You know, you can go your whole career and you may never, ever end up on an Access Hollywood, an Extra, or Entertainment Tonight.
Yeah.
And it doesn't mean that your work is of less value.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. And I'm glad you said that because what I do know is, as I keep saying, you all do amazing work. And what I appreciate about what you all do is you still bring us access through your access conversations to people that we admire, that we adore, that we only get to see by way of screen. So first, thank you for that. What would it look like for you all when you think about Met Gala and you think about all the other galas, and let's bring in the book and the conversation around the book. What does it look like when, ideally for you, when we talk about style, when we talk about actors, what is missing that you all would like to see included in this conversation about award season?
You know what's interesting about that is that I think last year, the last 2 years, we really did start to see, when we talk about style, a little bit more representation of Black stylists, right? And I think Wayman and Micah have done a phenomenal job with all of the artists, Black or white, Asian, whomever they've worked with, but also a huge shout out to like Colin Carter or La Roche and Misha Hilton and Zarina Akers. There are a lot of artists that have really continued to make their name count. But I think just to piggyback off of what you were saying and to you as well, I think sometimes you have to force yourself into the rooms. I remember we talked about this, a couple of days ago, is even if I'm not invited, I'm still going to cover the event, right? And to what we talked about earlier, I may not be a huge publication, but my content is going to be so amazing that people are going to still tune in and say, wait a minute, who does he work for? I work for me, And I think there's so many people that will actually say, wow, when we think about the fashion weeks of the world and those things, you're starting to see less celebrity, more influence. Because the reality is we're starting to see more influencers with more reach and actually having more.
And they have a broad audience.
Yeah, their audience is very much interested in the things that they're promoting. So, yeah.
Well, that's a very delicate landscape right now, the influencer versus the journalist, right? Because I've been on carpets where I am standing next to an influencer and they have no idea. Yeah. They have no idea what's happening in film and television.
They're just there.
They have a massive reach.
They showed up with a microphone.
Right. They have a massive reach, but they have not watched any of the films, nor do they care.
Yeah.
And I think that is a slap in the face, again, to the talent who has this major milestone in their career. They arrive at this moment, they get to the red carpet, and there's an influencer there that's almost mocking.
Yeah.
That's almost mocking. Yeah.
That's interesting. That is really interesting. And then if I am the influencer, their thought is, well, I want my chance too. When we come forward, that's really, really intriguing. When we come forward, we're going to continue our conversation with Tanisha, Laverne Grant, and Jamir Smith. We're having an awards season roundtable, and it's getting more interesting by the minute. I'm telling you. This is KBLA Talk 1580.
The station you turn to when you've had it up to here with cultural incompetence. KBLA Talk 1580.
So this new dose is, nope, that's not it. The price is nowhere to be found.
Mr. Green? Hi, it's all good. We've got this.
This is not just help from a Walgreens pharmacist.
Oh, new prescriptions. Cool. Let me check to see if these are the lowest cost options covered by your Medicare plan.
Oh, that's great. Thank you.
This is someone supporting you every step of the way. Chat with a pharmacist today to find help saving. This is the human kind of help. Walgreens.
I occasionally have nerve discomfort in my hands, so the things I love to do...
Let's play something, Grandma.
...became difficult as I got older.
If you have occasional stabbing and burning in your hands and feet, try Nervive Nerve Relief. Nervive's clinically studied dose of alpha-lipoic acid reduces occasional nerve discomfort in as little as 7 days with continued daily use. Say yes to healthy nerves with Nervive Nerve Relief.
These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
If you're living with dry age-related macular degeneration or dry AMD, you may be at risk for developing geographic atrophy or GA. GA can be unpredictable and progress rapidly, leading to irreversible vision loss. Now there's something you can do to
slow it down and get it going slower.
Izervay is proven to slow GA progression.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Izervay or avacincaptad pagel is a prescription eye injection used to treat GA. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may temporarily increase eye pressure. Your vision may be impaired after an eye injection or exam. Don't delay. Ask your doctor about Izervay today.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Visit Izervay.com. That's IZERVAY.com.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues? Who are you? Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Want to play a game with me and Dad?
Mommy's not feeling good.
You need to vaporize that cold.
Vaporize?
Yeah, with Dayquil VapoCool. It's Dayquil plus a rush of Vicks vapors.
Whoa.
Come on, honey. Let's let Mommy rest.
You guys are amazing. And so is Dayquil VapoCool.
Dayquil VapoCool, the vaporizing daytime coughing, aching, fever, power through your day medicine. And to vaporize sore throat pain, try Vicks VapoCool drops. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Find a righteous rage and don't be afraid to say what you see. We're KBLA Talk 1580.
I am Mischa Duffie. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. I am here with Tanisha, Laverne, Grant, and Jamir Smith. We are having an awards season roundtable because awards season starts in 3 days. And before we came forward, we were talking about the interesting dichotomy and difference between influencers versus journalists. And what we've been talking about in this conversation is the things that you all don't think about when you're looking at the awards season and you see the beautiful dresses and the tuxedos and you see the celebrities and the stars. And what you don't always take note of is the absence of Black journalists to the degree that they should be present, because they are still putting in as much work. They have as much of an investment. As it's been said here today, they know these stars, they follow their careers. And so why aren't we being invited to be a part of the red carpets in the same way that mainstream media is? Tanisha had a great point about likes being rewarded. Talk a little bit more about this idea that likes are rewarded more than the experience of a seasoned journalist like yourself.
I mean, the enter social media.
Yeah.
That's what we go for. You know, your popularity.
Yeah.
You know, I just had a big moment with Tabitha Brown where I thanked her for sharing my top 20 countdown on her page. Earlier this year, she shared that same interview, and she is the first in over a decade. She is actually the second. The first one, I believe, was Laverne Cox, to share my interview with her on her page. And that helps me tremendously because it is not about my degree in journalism from Cheyney University of Pennsylvania, the oldest HBCU founded in 1837 that graduated the likes of that late Ed Bradley and Jim Vance. You know,
Shout out to that HBCU.
Right? You know, so it's not about my degree. It's not about the fact that I did an internship at WCAU NBC 10 in Philadelphia that led to a full-time job as an overnight assignment editor that led to my temp positions out here in Los Angeles at Warner Brothers. You know, it doesn't matter that I've had all these amazing positions in media, in journalism, in entertainment.
Yeah.
It matters the likes. Well, how many people are following her? How many people are sharing her work? That is where the value is. And that is a hard fight for us now because nobody cares.
Jamir, what do we do about it?
You know, I think the biggest thing is this, and we talked about this consistently, through a lot of our conversations in today, right? We want to make sure that you are finding your own lane, you're creating your own space, you're creating your own platform. I think that in 2025, we have to begin to start understanding what are our own personal foundations, what are your own beliefs, and then figuring out how do you just create your own lane. And I know that sounds easier than really putting in the work, but you got to put in the work, right? So I think living in Los Angeles, you have to make sure that you're putting your ear to the streets. You're building relationships. I say that consistently with every person and space that I'm in. What does that relationship feel and look like, whether it's genuine or not? So you can at least know what's going on, have a heartbeat and a pulse on, what awards you can and cannot go to, and force yourselves in there respectfully, as we said the other day, but making sure that you can at least bring something to the table with whatever your platform is, because we're all going to have different stories, and do your homework.
Yep. Oof.
And I
That's
think
it.
one of the things the both of you do really well is your representation of yourself.
Yeah.
The showing where you are, who you're talking to, your platforms, whether it's Instagram or YouTube.
Yep.
Both of you do a great job of putting your interviews out there. And what that does is it makes your presence known. It allows people the opportunity to go and see who you are and how you do what you do. And this is what I believe. While it may take time, I believe that excellence can never be overlooked. And so, again, while mainstream media may get the most of the attention at this time, I promise you, Tanisha and Jamir, the sun is shining on the two of you, and you all are going to rise in the most amazing ways here in Hollywood. I know that. I believe that. I'm looking forward to seeing it.
Exciting.
As we continue to talk about award season, talk to me about some of your expectations, and as you prepare, how do you prepare for award season?
You prepare by being dialed into the films, you know, and the television shows. You prepare all year round. This is a lifelong investment. Like I said, you know, I know Lawrence Fishburne's body of work because my late father said, hey, you should watch Cornbread Earl and Me. You know, so it's about living this. This is a lived experience. This is living it every day.
And I think for me, same thing, right? I think doing the research, you know, huge shout out to Monica L. Miller. This book has been phenomenal. Slaves to Fashion really does kind of highlight the idea around black men in the 18th century in England and how the black dandyism, you know, I want people to make sure during the Met Gala or during these award seasons that it aligns with the theme.
Talk to us about the black dandyism for a minute.
So I remember when I first met this one, and she said that I reminded her a lot of her father. And I appreciated that moment, because the beauty of it is we were able to understand what it feels and means as black men to really get into your bag and just dress to just go into the mailbox of the grocery store and not having a purpose around it, right? God. So, and I think this book really has an idea about the diaspora of black identity, the conceptual reasoning of, you know, how to dress in a way that you still feel elegant and classy and you still are represented in your own community.
What has happened? Why do you all think that we don't see as much of that? When we look back at pictures of our ancestors, and as you said, they could be going to the dry cleaners, they could be going to the market, they were suited and booted.
Absolutely.
I mean, from head to toe. What happened to that?
Everything is so fast. Everything, you know, I think everything is, and I say this in relationships, I told you that's why I'm single, y'all, but everything is microwavable in that moment, right? Everyone wants something right now, and they're not willing to think about the fashion. And I think we got to get back to the fashion. Hopefully this year, the Met Gala and the red carpets that we do see represent fashion in a way that it's curated, it's sexy, it's beautiful, and we represent so many other Black and Latino, you know, designers, and there's so much rich history that we still have to continue to talk about. So,
yeah. I would just like to see just more collective work.
Yeah.
You know, we can all do the work, but it's about collective work, not selective.
Yeah.
You know, online there are these great big conversations about, you know, women for women, I support women, but it's so selective. It's so cliquish.
And even, and we're going to talk more about this on Saturday, even within our own race, it's cliquish.
Yeah.
And it can be discriminatory to a degree.
We've got I'm glad, really quick, I want to talk about that for a half a second.
No, go.
Interesting enough, I went to a book signing a couple of weeks ago, and I remember people were just speaking, it was a Black-owned book, and they were talking about the book deal that they received. We've got to make sure, as media people, as journalism people, as influencers, be transparent with your brothers and sisters, your Black and brown people, on what it is you're making, so you can go back to the drawing board and ask, this is what I should receive. Because again, there's a lot of money on the table, and there's a lot of money to be spent, but you have to understand your worth, and then make sure that you're coming to the table with your numbers and with the access. So don't be afraid to say, this is how much I made on this deal, this is how I make on this salary, and being okay with that, right? There is no judgment. We all want to make sure that we're winning. So, yeah.
Well, I'll go on record and say earlier this year, I did a red carpet. It was the lowest I've done a red carpet for, and it was for $3,500. And that was on the low end.
Wow.
That was on the low end. Wow. So know your worth.
Yeah.
Know your worth and ask for it. And $3,500, given the amount of work and exposure that you're going to give a carpet, you know, it's okay, but there's so much more money out there. You know, and I will never again, in my bald black life, do a carpet for $3,500.
It's just about supporting each other. It's about making sure that we are just building that connection, build the relationships. And I think that's something that so many people in Los Angeles and Hollywood were all just kind of striving for.
Black folk, what can we do? How can we as Black folk support each other more authentically? And in a way that we are making sure we're leaving the door open for other people and inviting people in as we climb. What can we do?
Support the brands. Support the brands. Right. Sorry, really quick. Yeah, go.
Yeah. First, we have to stop thinking that white ice is colder. You know, I see it on the red carpet all the time. There's a pocket of journalists who work for the bigger outlets, and then there's a pocket of us who work for the so-called smaller outlets. Now, those of us who work for the smaller outlets, we know all those journalists who work for the bigger outlets. The ones who work for the bigger outlets don't even take the time to know our names, acknowledge us.
Yeah.
And it's disgusting.
Yeah.
And it's unwarranted.
And I've seen some celebrities really kind of turn their nose up to that somebody didn't even really know their name. It was just, what are you wearing? Just real quick, throw a microphone in your face.
Yeah, it's like we're all out here together for years.
Yeah.
For years.
Yeah.
Support the brands. You have to be able to support each other. Go on the Instagrams, the TikToks, the YouTubes. And if I'm promoting a product, it's okay to support somebody that is an influencer. I remember somebody saying a couple of years ago, we are quick to stand in the lines to get the latest sneaker or the latest, CD. But, you know, how do we make sure we support our other influencer, our other creatives? So, yeah.
Y'all listen, we are out of time.
There it is.
It has been wonderful. Again, as you all watch award season this year, think about Black journalists and think about the space that we need to start occupying on these red carpets, not just because we're Black, but because we're doing the work and because we care not just about these characters that celebrities are playing, but we care about the careers. And people have been following, as Tanisha said so beautifully, she's been following the work, and so has Jamir. So thank you both. I appreciate you both. I love you so much. I am so excited about what is to come for both of you. I promise you, amazing things are going to come, and more people are going to know your names.
Amen.
Listen, you can follow.
Yes.
Tell us how, real quickly, 30 seconds. Where can they follow
Tanisha
you?
Laverne Grant, at Tanisha Laverne Grant on all platforms.
Jamir_Smith, JAMIR_Smith.
Thank you, and Andy, appreciate you always. Up next is the Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams.
What up,
Happy
Zoe?
2025, everybody.
Back in '89, I simply slid into place. Buddy, all up in your face. A lot of kids was busting rhymes, but they had no taste. Some said Quest was whack, but now is that the case?
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Amber Payton with 4 Things You Should Know from BIN News. Jay-Z's legal team is arguing the allegations against him are beyond the statute of limitations, citing New York's Victims of Gender-Motivated Violence